Now from Place Ministries, another inspirational moment. Welcome back to Your Place.
Exodus 32 verses 11 and 14 say, "But Moses sought the favor of the Lord. The Lord relented and did not bring on his people the disaster he had threatened." As I said last week, we're going to be spending the next several days looking at abilities, but we're going to look at them from a little different perspective than what you might think when you hear the word abilities. We're going to be looking at abilities as the environment where you'll be both competent and fulfilled. And the key word in looking at abilities is the word environment. The first ability we're going to be looking at is what I call the enterprising ability. Those who have this ability can lead and persuade others. I think you would agree with me that Moses was certainly enterprising. He persuaded God himself to change his mind, as we see some of our scripture verses today. Here's where I'd like to give you a little different perspective on who might be enterprising. In ministry, we so often think of those who lead and persuade as those who speak from a platform or those who teach a Bible study. In my early days with Place Ministries, I was taught how to look at the enterprising ability from a totally different perspective. I sat down with Bob, not his real name, but I sat down with him to coach him through the Place profile. He had assessed out high in what we call this enterprising ability. I was surprised because Bob had horrible people skills. As a matter of fact, in our entire one-on-one conversation, Bob talked to me looking straight down at the floor the entire time. But did Bob teach me? Bob was part of a large Bible study class on Sunday morning in his church. They needed someone to come in on Sunday morning early and set up the chairs, get the announcements out on each chair, make the coffee, and do what other general responsibilities needed doing on that particular Sunday. Bob volunteered, but he realized he couldn't get the job done even though he would arrive early each Sunday. He realized he needed two others to help him. So Bob told me that he persuaded two friends to help him, and he said now they get the work done in a timely way. He then looked at me for the only time in our conversation and said this right here, "And I'm their leader, and I like being their leader." In seeking your place in life and ministry, ask yourself if you have the enterprising ability. And if so, look for opportunities to lead and persuade others. And by the way, Moses likely would have not been on our list to lead and persuade, and certainly Bob wouldn't have been on my list who I thought could lead and persuade. But if God puts you in the enterprising environment, He will empower you to lead and persuade others.
Your Place is a weekday devotional from Place Ministries. Our focus is helping followers of Christ know how and why God created them, and be encouraged to do what God created them to do in life and ministry. For a list of free resources, go to placeministries.org and join us every weekday right here at Your Place.